In patch 2.0, we got a very minor nerf to the Go Hardarche archetype, and it left Grand Plaza and Zoe unchanged, both which are really omnipresent cards in ranked at the moment, especially at higher tiers. The S tier meta, or the best meta decks, are actually pretty similar to before, but one deck features in this video that you probably aren't expecting, bearing in mind the recent nerfs. This is Best Meta Decks Patch 2.0. This video has been done in collaboration with BomberTV. Please remember to like and subscribe and turn on the bell notifications too. So let's dive in. So this is Lucian Hecarim, and the deck features cards from Demacia and the Shadow Isles. It actually has a very balanced mix between followers and spells, and features the landmark the Grand Plaza which it revolves around. It's actually a fairly expensive deck with a total of 6 epic cards. BomberTV was the pioneer of this deck, and he actually started out with Lucian Callisto, but still thinks that this version of the Shadow Isles Demacia deck is by far superior. This deck is very aggressive and takes full advantage of ephemerals. The optimal plan would be to start off with Bark Beast, then pass on turn 2 or go for Lucian. These are the 2 cards you're really going to be looking for in your opening hand. If you went for the pass, you can easily cast Onslaught of the Shadows or Haunted Relic later on from turn 3 onwards. Both of these cards summon multiple ephemeral cards, which are obviously great for dealing quick aggro damage for obviously very little mana. Hopefully you'll have Grand Plaza on turn 3 to spread the buffs onto these units summoned by these spells just mentioned, otherwise there's no point casting them quite yet. The ideal situation is Grand Plaza will buff your ephemeral cards and give them all challenger, so they can easily take out your opponent's key cards. As obviously most decks have the Grand Plaza, it's obviously going to be the key card in this deck, and it really will make this deck come together, so you need to really be looking out for this, and obviously having it in your opening hand if possible. Later on, hopefully you would have attacked with lots of ephemerals, and Hecarim will basically be levelling up and be your finisher. If that's not enough, you can also revive him with the Rekindler, and usually this basically be game over for your opponent. A leveled up Lucian could also do very well early on, and most of this is obviously done by sacrificing Senna with a card like Glimpse Beyond, or simply letting the ephemerals die and letting his kind of death counter tally up the old traditional way. With Lucian levelled up on your board, try to cast Relentless Pursuit on your opponent's turn to ensure that one of your units dies. Then trigger the levelled up Lucian's ability to attack one more time. Obviously you're going to get another rally here, so this can be really devastating, but it's obviously very reliant on the Grand Plaza. But if you can pull it off, it basically means you've won the game. Ezreal Draven is a deck featuring cards from Piltover and Zorn and Noxus. It features a very balanced mix of spells and followers, and has a very low average mana cost, with all but 2 copies of Captain Farron costing 4 or less mana. It's relatively expensive, featuring 5 epic cards. The core idea of this deck is to get your Captain Farron out as fast as possible and finish the game with him. To accomplish this goal, you need to do 3 things: draw him, survive, and do a little bit of damage before he comes onto the board. To accomplish the draw part, we have the so-called discard package. Discard to draw cards like Sump Dredger and Rummage are fantastic draw tools, which unfortunately would not really increase your hand size, but basically quickly cycle through your deck faster to get the cards you need. That's where Draven, Chump Wump and Ballistic Bot come in. By generating cards which are not as very useful, you can use them as basically easy discard targets and replace them with more valuable cards. To survive, you have lots and lots of control tools, like Mystic Shot and Thermogenic Beam. Use these to take out your opponent's key cards. On top of that, all the units from the discard package are pretty good blockers too. Ezreal can be involved in your game plan, which also helps on the control side, giving you additional Mystic Shots. Finish off by summoning Captain Farron and using his Overwhelm and the decimates he generates to quickly finish off your opponent. This is Go Hard's Shadow Isles Bilgewater, featuring Elise and Twisted Fate. It's pretty much a combo deck, and it has a low average mana cost, with all but 3 cards costing 4 or less mana. It's actually quite an expensive deck to build, with 6 epics and 6 champions. actually started out as a meme deck, but it's actually become a solid meta deck recently, and it's actually looking pretty good with the latest expansion as well. Even with the insane nerf to pack your bags, increasing its total cost by 5 times, this has been obviously not ever seen before in Legend of Runeterra, we still see this deck being very high in the current meta with its viability of the concept, but this is what we feel, me and Bomber feel, that the main problem is down to Zap Sprayfin, as we said in our last patch prediction notes, so this is why this deck is going to continue to do well in the current patch. This deck is a pretty unique concept featuring the new KDA card, Go Hard. It's a slow spell that drains 1 from a unit and shuffles 2 identical copies into your deck. Once cast 3 times, it transforms into a very OP Pack Your Bags, which I'll discuss later. The aim of this deck is to play a standard control Shadow Isles playstyle, or focus on the Go Hard card mechanic. You want to keep drawing cards to get the magic free as quickly as possible through Twisted Fate's blue card or build wall to draw cards like Salvage. From that simple idea, the deck builds itself. You have controlled tiles from Shadow Isles such as Vengeance and Go Hard itself. Use Vengeance to take out key units and Go Hard to drain your opponent 3 times, before going into that big combo piece I discussed earlier, Pack Your Bags. This deals 5 to all enemies and the opposing nexus. The rest of the cards are mainly there for curve purposes, and your main plan is either to level up Twisted Fate or go for the Go Hard plan. Definitely a fun deck to play and having quite a successful time at the moment. This is the deck list that BomberTV actually uses himself and has an incredibly high win rate of. Check out his video for a more depth analysis of this deck. And there we go guys, did you expect to see Go Hard Shadow Isles build water still in the best meta decks? The truth is, the nerf did not actually impact its win rate too much, as other cards are the issue in this deck, not necessarily Pack Your Bags like Riot thought it could be. So that is why it's still here. I wonder if it will still be here next patch. What do you think the best deck is in patch 2.0? I would love to hear in the comments. Up next is patch 2.1 preview predictions. Riot have said the next patch is a major balance change update, so this video will have a look at what we expect to see. Our previous videos have predicted a lot of patch changes, including the 5 mana cost nerf to Pack Your Bags which happened this patch, so I hope to see you there guys. The data presented here is analysed by BomberTV using MOBA Analytics. He's a Masters tier player with a background in game theory and game design. He took the most winning archetypes into Master tier, excluding ones with small play rates, analysed their key properties on why they are so strong. Link to his channel is in a pinned comment and in the card above. Please remember to like and subscribe and turn on bell notifications too. See you next time guys.